Hi, this is Stefan Dunnigan, Vice President of Field Operations here at Gryphon AI. I'm responsible for, among other things, our sales engineering team, and I'm joined by Eric Chebi. Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks, Stefan. Hi, everybody. Eric Chebi, Vice President of Customer Success here at Gryphon. I oversee our implementation team, our consulting services, technical support, as well as our customer success teams.
Thank you, Eric. Today, we'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Gryphon ONE platform and specifically how we integrate with organizations and their providers. So a little bit about the Gryphon ONE platform and its components. We like to think of this as the 4 pillars of Gryphon. Obviously, you have the compliance component. That is the regulatory rules and regulations that we are pulling in from the various sources and aggregating for our customers and partners. And then you have all the data, meaning the proprietary data that customers support, such as their legal exemptions and their consent records and opt-out records and otherwise, as well as all the rules that exist. So it's not just there are a bunch of lists. There are other rules that dictate how you can contact someone, when you can contact someone, and we basically aggregate all that data. The other pillar, or one of the other pillars that we have, is our intelligence pillar. That's either ingested in post-call analysis, meaning I can listen to a call, for instance, in post-call and see how I'm faring in relation to how I should, as well as real-time capabilities, meaning on the call, we're transcribing in real time, we're listening for keywords and key phrases, and we're coaching and training the agents based upon what we're hearing and what the intelligence is telling us. We also have insights. Insights is the audit logs, right? That's the audit logs around your certifications, ensuring that you have a full trail of every transaction that goes through the system. And then dashboards. And the dashboards come in many forms. Both the risk components of what you're doing, as well as the reach components, meaning the ability to contact more people than less people, and then the ability to actually consume what you see within the intelligence pillar. And then finally, you have the ability to integrate with Gryphon seamlessly. And that is all channel, meaning we support phone, SMS/text, email, postal mail, etc. And we do that through a variety of connectors, right? That is our open API framework, our SIP infrastructure, and other mechanisms where we can get in the path of those interactions and make real-time decisions, report on them, etc. And then all of our solutions leverage the Gryphon ONE platform to make real-time decisions and deliver our solutions.
This is great, Stefan. How does Gryphon ensure that the data and the rules are compliant with all the industry standards?
It's a great question. We work closely with both our internal counsel as well as third-party counsel to ensure that we're on top of all the regulatory rules from a contact compliance perspective that occur. So we're tracking the rules. If anything changes, we adjust the platform and the databases that reside in the platform accordingly. That could be in the form of a adjusted legal calling hour. It could be in the form of a new list that we need to adhere to. It could be in the form of things like reassigned numbers, where numbers that have changed ownership, that ownership does not necessarily mean consent follows. So we're constantly tracking all the regulations and making sure those new rules, as they're passed, as they navigate the various legislatures and go through to the governor or the agency's signature and execution, they're implemented and part of the platform for all of our customers and partners.
Awesome. On the bottom, you talk about audit reporting. Why is it so important to have standardized audit reports?
It's a great question. I mean, without standardized audit reporting from a contact compliance perspective, if a regulator or a class action attorney or a professional litigator, a serial plaintiff comes knocking, you're starting to negotiate what your fines and penalties are at that point. You need to ensure that you have a full audit trail of every single certification that's done, every single proprietary data management transaction that's done. You need to have that information to, in essence, defend yourself. Otherwise, you'll be looking at multi-million-dollar fines, and we've seen them bordering on $1 billion.
That's great. Thank you.
So just a little more information on the Gryphon ONE integration. As mentioned, we have an open API framework, and I just want to take you from left to right. On the left, you'll find the calling and texting agents that are connected to a CCaaS platform, a unified communications platform, a CPaaS, SBC, or any other platform that is supported. And through an API gateway, and prototypically a REST API call, but we do support SOAP as well, you're going to see that request come over. The last thing before a call or a text goes out the door or an email goes out the door, it's going to call out to our API gateway. It's going to come down to our web and app layer, and it's going to query the database in your proprietary rule and data set, and it's going to make a determination whether or not this contact point is reachable at this point in time. If it's not, it's going to send back a response to not allow the call to go out or the text to go out, and it's going to be stopped at the platform level. If it's okay to call, we reply back, and the platform will send that call, text, what have you, back out using prototypically SIP over the public switch telephone network infrastructure to the foreign carrier and ultimately the consumer. And then towards the bottom, you'll see the Gryphon dashboard, and you'll see client managers. That's where you can access your dashboards. That's where you can aggregate all of your reporting data, listen to your recordings, etc. And by the same token, we also support SIP. Gryphon long ago built out a telephony infrastructure to support calling methodologies for contact compliance in our Gryphon ONE platform, in our ecosystem. So through mobile apps, soft phones, for just certifications alone, click to dial, other access methods, you can call through us using SIP, and the call path is very similar. You have the customer, the platform on the left. You have an SBC, which is a session border controller. That's in essence your voice gateway, and it's using SIP and bytes to our where Gryphon resides in the middle, and it trickles down through the same media layer to our applications and database. And based upon your proprietary database and your data set and rule set, we're going to make a decision on whether this call can go out or this text can go out, and we're going to respond back to the SBCs. And same deal. If it's okay to call, it goes out. If it's not okay, it stops at that point. It goes no further.
This is great. Thanks, Stefan. How do most platforms integrate with Gryphon?
In the past, many platforms integrated with us through the telephony layer, and we still have a multitude that do, whether they're carriers and in some cases platform providers. However, we see a big shift towards our open API framework based on the speed of processing. Gryphon is built for speed. We're built not to add any degradation or latency to these requests. So round trip, you're talking 100 milliseconds from start to finish, and that is by design. Being that we integrate in real time with these platforms, and they have sensitivity to any sort of a latency, it affects the dialing algorithms or texting algorithms. We can reply back, and we can reply back just as quickly on the API layer as we can on the telephony layer.
Fantastic.
So just another way to sort of parse out the Gryphon ONE platform. If you're looking on the left, every organization that we do work with has sales, marketing, servicing, consumer debt collections, and they do that through a variety of different sources, platforms, etc. And then they communicate through with the Gryphon ONE cloud, right? The Gryphon ONE platform, which is the middle layer. On the left, you see conversation compliance. And what conversation compliance is it's that before check. That's the pre-call, pre-text, pre-email check that says, can I contact this record or can't I, based upon all the rules that exist, whether they're marketing compliance specific, like do not contact and TCPA and TSR based, or they're based on specific collections requirements if it's a collections call, and that's across all channels. And it's very configurable in terms of how you query us, whether you're using a existing customer list, or you're doing a win-back campaign, or you're doing a cold acquisition campaign. We could adjust the rules accordingly. And then moving to the right, you see our conversation compliance product. And what that is it's during the call. That is being in the path of the call, listening, transcribing the audio or the media, and then making that data available in real time to the agent, right? Identifying key moments, providing real-time coaching and training guidance through card pops and otherwise back to agents so that they can make decisions.
Stefan, can you talk a little bit about the sentiment analysis and like how would a call center supervisor use it to coach their agents and ultimately drive more revenue?
Yeah, when I think about sentiment analysis and how customers leverage it within our platform, I think about customer satisfaction and customer experience, right? That is where where organizations have gone and the industry has gone. Those are very important indicators of how an organization is performing, and sentiment analysis fits right in, right? Detecting emotion, especially heightened emotion, and being able to remediate it in real time or near real time is priceless to organizations. They do not want to have a consumer on the other end getting emotional about an interaction. And as soon as you sense that emotion is toggling up, being able to remediate it at that point in time.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure. And then the last thing I'll mention is the conversation insights. That's the after. That's what we talked about from a dashboard perspective. Reporting on your risk posture, your scores and otherwise. Where are you seeing the most restriction? Is it on a federal list level? Is it state lists? Is it time-bound restrictions? Everything can be reported there, as well as the fines or penalties that have been averted by using the platform. And then you have your reach component. That is what should be reachable based upon the letter of the law and taking advantage of the legal loopholes that exist. So things like managing legal exemptions and consent and running hygiene against your list. All that plays into the reach component. And then finally, we have a post-call analysis player, which allows you to go back, listen to the recordings, look at those key moments, look at the scoring, and then basically get a better feel for where a conversation went. It's embedded in real-time redaction, so no one's sensitive information makes it past the initial transcription and audio. It does not make it to the PCA player. And then the last thing I'm going to touch on this particular slide is if you look at the overarching clouds on the top, those signify the platform providers that we work with, right? The platforms, the carriers, the UCaaS, CCaaS platforms, and Marcom platforms. And in the case of Adobe, we were able to integrate in real time with the real-time Adobe platform, that Adobe real-time customer data platform, or their real-time CPI. That's a platform that enables businesses to unify customer data, generate real-time insights, and deliver personalized experience at the point of that interaction. And anytime you do that, you have a contact compliance concern, right? So you need a system, you need a platform approach, you need a system like Gryphon to be able to make real-time decisions, not only on the list that exists, but is this record going out after legal contact hours or before legal contact hours? Am I exceeding frequency thresholds that exist on a state or federal level? Am I calling on a state holiday or a state of emergency prohibition or texting where that's not allowed? So there are components where you have to embed real-time checks, and as well as just overarching, these platforms are changing dynamically. Data is coming in and out constantly, and you had asked before, Eric, about us managing the data and updating the data. Well, it's a constant flow of data into the platform based upon the rules and shifting data sets. And I'll also mention Salesforce. We've had a long-standing Salesforce managed package, which allows you on any object record to render the current contact compliance status of a phone number, of a text, of an email on the screen as you're rendering a object record, whether it be a account, contacts, opportunity, task, whatever it may be.
Speaking of Salesforce, can you explain the significance of a feature like click to dial?
Yeah, through our telephony infrastructure, we have the ability to layer in click to dial in applications like Salesforce and the managed package. So not only can you get the contact status back with various indicators of contactable or not, you can also, if it is contactable, initiate a call, initiate a text where through a click to dial workflow, we will bridge the agent that initiated the outreach and the consumer, and will be in the path of that call. And that's where a lot of what we talked about for the during component comes into play, where now we could transcribe the call, we could redact the call, we could present it in the ecosystem that is Salesforce, where when big organizations make investment in platforms like this, they fully expect to be as high adoption as possible, and they expect every one of their agents to live there. They do not want them outside of that. So we're basically extending our intelligence, our capabilities through the totality of the discussion using a platform like Salesforce.
That's awesome. So if I'm trying to get in touch with one of my contacts in Salesforce, all I need to do is look at the contact record, and Gryphon will automatically certify the phone numbers that are on the page, and I just click on the number to dial it?
Absolutely. And not only that, we'll do a second check as you initiate that phone call to say, hey, did the status change? Did someone get added to the opt-out list? Did it exceed legal calling hours? Whatever it may be, we'll do that last second check to ensure that nothing changed and no potential compliance holes exist.
Great.
And just to wrap up, I wanted to talk a little bit and highlight what we've discussed today. The Gryphon One platform is built for seamless deployment, right? It's built for integrations with whatever system of record, whatever platforms you're using, CRM, CCaaS, UCaaS, carrier, Marcom, and otherwise. We've been doing this a long time. We have a platform that provides bulletproof contact compliance with ease, right? The more complex an organization is, the more systems they have, the more integration points they have. We have some customers that exceed 100, that are fast approaching 200. The more value we could bring, because we sit in the middle of all that activity. We not only aggregate the transactions and the certifications as stated and deliver them in reporting for evidence of compliance, we also make those real-time decisions on whether those records should go out or not, including time-bound. We're purpose-built. So we're built from the ground up for large volume. No latency, so we don't affect any sort of algorithms that exist in these platforms. Accuracy of the data, redundancy, flexibility, scalability, all with an eye towards delivering regulatory and business-specific contact compliance requirements to end users, which otherwise would struggle to do so. And then we are carrier grade. So we deliver a 5-9 approach to marketing compliance and consumer debt collections. And that's outreach that includes before, during, and after contact compliance needs. As I mentioned up front, we're battle tested. We're 25 years of doing this within the Fortune space with billions of transactions processed a month. There's a lot of traffic that's moving through our platform. It's getting processed quickly, and it's getting returned, and it's not slowing down any of the existing processes, call flows, workflows of our customers. We have a kiosk to call center approach, meaning anywhere you're doing interaction, whether you're in a contact center, whether you're at a kiosk at the mall, whether you're at a home-based office, whether you're a door knocker, whether you're a hybrid employee, whether you're on a remote or employee on your cell phone, doesn't make a difference. We can get in the path of that interaction, and we can apply the compliance check. We can apply the during component, and we can also report on that activity. And then the last thing I'll mention is it is a consistent user experience. It's embedded compliance but it does not alter the agent's day-to-day, right? It's invisible to them. It's all behind the scenes. They don't know what's happening. The organization is protected, but the agent's not affected.
This was great. Thank you so much for presenting this with me today, Stefan, and thank you all for listening. If you'd like to learn anything more about Gryphon or the Gryphon ONE platform and the solutions that we provide, please visit gryphon.ai, and we'll be happy to